for withdrawing a bill once it is here. He wants to usurp powers which he does not have, to usurp powers in the assembly when he is in the Senate. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I support and I move, I propose, and I think the leader of majority will be kind enough to second. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of majority, hoping you don't fear BODABODA riders.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, fear and me are never in the same sentence, Honorable Speaker. But allow me, Honorable Speaker, to second this motion by the Committee for Transport and Infrastructure to discharge the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, which, Honorable Speaker, as many members may have noted, even the name itself, I don't know, I know Dr. Khalwale is a medical doctor, but English, I think, is he should have borrowed some better English from this assembly. But as a mover has said, this being a bill, a private member's bill that came from the Senate, and Senator Khalwale, who was a proposer of this bill, has written seeking to withdraw. But as Honorable Kajwang has said, and as was noted by the Speaker in his communication, there is no process of a senator withdrawing anything from this House. Whether he is a sponsor of a bill or motion that has been processed and finalized within the Senate and it comes to this House, it is only the motions of this House and our procedures that can then discharge or withdraw such a bill. And therefore, let it be a lesson not just to Senator Khalwale but to the other senators that if you want to propose legislation, be man enough to be able to bear the consequences of the choices that you make, because we've previously been told that choices have consequences. And Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the mover, Honorable Kajwang, that if you intend to be a governor of a county, you will be required to make hard decisions and the right decisions on behalf of the people. That is what leadership calls for. As a leader, time and again you'll be called upon to make decisions, some that may not be popular with the masses, but are the right decisions. And how I wish Senator Boni Khalwale had allowed leadership to take charge of his decisions other than political expediency. Because the decision to withdraw this bill by the Honorable Senator Boni Khalwale is more of political expediency and playing to the gallery than being a leader. And probably the people of Kakamega are the ones to judge whether that is somebody they would trust to lead other than politic. Because it is very easy to politic and shout in funerals, in political rallies, but to offer leadership is a different issue altogether, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I want to agree with the Honorable TJ Kajwang that there is need to offer leadership in regulating how our transport sector, right from our trains under Kenya Railways, to our buses and matatu sector, all the way down to the use of private vehicles, and including BODABODAs, Honorable Speaker. Because it is chaotic to drive on Kenyan roads, Honorable Speaker. As Honorable TJ says, it is more dangerous to check what is on your right than on your left today. Because people overtake, you expect that people will be overtaking on your right because we drive on the left, we are left, it's called what? Right-hand drive cars, and we keep left on our roads. But people overtake from the left, from your right, join the roads from every other corner, overtake at all manner of places, including blind spots, Honorable Speaker. Passengers on motorcycles, and you'll be shocked, Honorable Speaker, somebody the other day narrated to us in the House Business Committee how he witnessed 3 policemen, and shockingly, traffic policemen, spying on passengers on a BODABODA. Those are the people who are supposed to be enforcing the law to make sure that every boda has one pylon passenger, Honorable Speaker. But you find policemen the ones flouting the same laws, Honorable Speaker, that they are supposed to be enforcing. Therefore, that tells you the need to have proper legislation and to ensure that the same laws that are there are enforced, Honorable Speaker. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we allow the chaos that are in the public sector today to continue, and you've seen, Honorable Speaker, I saw sometime last year or early this year, the hue and cry that was there over a matatu that was said to be owned by a son of a prominent politician in this country. One matatu. And it becomes very fashionable to bash that one matatu, I think, that was plying either the Gong or Rongai route, not even knowing whether it was owned by the son to the president, because it was said it was owned to the son of the president, who is a student, by the way, who is in school. But because that was being sold as that, everybody on social media was there admonishing. Remember, last year, Honorable Speaker, I saw an incident where a lady collided, I think, with a boda somewhere in Kitengela. And Kenyans will recall the chaotic scenes of her car being vandalized by other boda riders, her being assaulted, including police officers who were in the vicinity being stoned as they tried to protect that driver, Honorable Speaker. That chaos, that scenario of chaos cannot be allowed to continue being so. But we have a duty as leaders to also protect the livelihoods of our young people who are making an income out of the boda sector. And we must protect them. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Honorable TJ Kajwang that the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure in this House must take it upon themselves, one, to make sure that there is proper order in the public transport sector. Not just bodas, the matatu sector. Many of us miss the Michuki days. And I hope CS Davis Chirchir is listening. It took the late CS Michuki less than 2 weeks to create order in what was otherwise a very disorderly sector. But after Michuki left us, we are slowly creeping back to the old days. I remember in my village, we had small matatus we used to call ngovis. Small Mitsubishi Colts that would carry close to 30 people. But with Meshuki rules, that Colt was only licensed to carry 12 people. Now we have Nissan Matatus. They were called Ngovi. Or Tongovi. I may not know what it means in other communities, Honorable Speaker, from your reaction and that of Honorable TJ Kajog, it probably has another connotation where you come from. Yeah. But it's because there were very rickety cars and small, and we used to be packed there like sacks of potatoes. But when the former Minister Mishuki came in and created order to ensure that we had safety belts, but today, Honorable Speaker, just get into any matatu, how many matatus have safety belts today? How many of them adhere to the speed limits that were set? Yet every day, Kenyans are crying over accidents and losing their families and relatives and friends through road accidents. Sadly, Honorable Speaker, I'm told only this week or last week, there was a headline in one of the dailies where now boda accidents have overtaken all other forms of accidents in terms of fatalities. Bodas are killing more Kenyans and maiming many more than matatus, more than buses, more than trains, more than aeroplanes. Honorable Speaker, we have a responsibility to do that which is right but may not be popular, to protect the lives and livelihoods of our young people. Because the people who are dying out of these boda accidents are not old people, Honorable Speaker. It is young people who are the riders. It is other young people who are passengers, Honorable Speaker. Not to say that older people are not dying from these accidents. Sadly, today I remember the late Honorable Hassan Kulo, the late Member of Parliament for Banisa. The people of Banisa constituency today do not have a representative and have stayed without a representative for close to a year now. Why? Out of a motor accident occasioned by a bodaboda. Why? Because we don't adhere to the rules that are there. You are carrying, I remember the case of the late Honorable Kulo. I think it was gas cylinders or some cylinders that were, or mitungis that were tied onto the border on both sides. And it's actually the luggage or whatever cylinders that were tied to the border that hit him and led to his death, Honorable Speaker. That may be a member of parliament, and we may think, Honorable Speaker, or probably Honorable Boni Khalwala may imagine that it cannot get to him because he's a member of parliament. He has a privilege of having a big car. But you never know, Honorable Speaker. We all walk on these roads. We drive on the same roads with the same bodaboda riders. If we do not create order, we will only have ourselves to blame. We must not wait for that time of regret. We must do that which is right. Have laws that will regulate the entire public transport sector, Honorable Speaker. Look at our trains, Honorable Speaker. At times, you only thank God during rush hour on some routes, I don't want to name many of those routes, where passengers are even riding on top of the train, not in the train, not hanging on the train, on top of the train. And you imagine in some places, the train goes through tunnels and bridges. And people have to keep ducking as it goes through the bridge. Where is order, Honorable Speaker, in this sector? Do we still have a cabinet secretary in charge of this sector? Yet we have a whole state department in charge of transport. How many Kenyans know who the PS for transport is? Honorable Speaker. I am certain if I asked even members here who the principal secretary in charge of transport is, they do not know. You can hear members asking. That is why we miss the late John Mishuki. How I wish Honorable Senator Khalwale would get the balls of the late Honorable John Mishuki. But we live to do what is right, and I do pray that the Committee of Transport and Infrastructure, which the Honorable TJ Kajwang is a ranking member of, will act to make sure that we have order in the entire sector, Honorable Speaker, so that when we speak about telematics in traffic control in Nairobi and other urban centers, systems alone will not deal with the problem. It has to be systems and our own habits as we drive, as we walk, as we ride on these roads, Honorable Speaker. But if we, whatever manner of traffic control systems that we put in the city and other areas, if we do not have the discipline to use them, Honorable Speaker, they will all be investments in futility and a waste of public resources unless we change our attitudes, our behavior, and ensure that all these public sector modes of transport from bodaboda, matatus, private vehicles to the train are well and properly regulated. And I look forward to the day that this committee will bring us a law that will serve to create some order in this area, Honorable Speaker. But with that, I beg to second the discharge of this bill by the Honorable Senator for Kakamega, who I would also urge next time, before you sit and formulate legislation, think through and decide whether you want to do that which is right or that which is popular. If you want to be popular all the time throughout your political career, then don't seek a leadership position. Go and sell ice cream. That one you will make people happy all the time. Otherwise, in this business that we are in, we're in the business where at times you will make people happy. At times, they will be unhappy with you. But if you are doing the right thing, at the end of the day, they will come to realize that that which you are doing was in their best interest. And that is why they trusted you with leadership, so that you lead and they follow. And you lead so that you get the best out of them and for them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Honorable members, I now propose the question that notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 127.5 and taking into consideration the request of the Senate for withdrawal of the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulations Bill, Senate Bill number 38 of 2023, this House resolved to discharge the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bill number 38 of 2023, from the second reading. The Honorable Dr. Wilberforce Oundo, the MP for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also stand here to support the motion that has been moved by our good colleague in respect to discharge of Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bill number 3 of 2023. And Honorable Speaker, let me go on record that Busia Town and Busia County was actually the starting point of BODABODA. And it started with a bicycle, what we would carry people along with a bicycle. And the Honorable Speaker, by then, a bicycle was more valued more than a car. If you never owned a bicycle, even if you owned a Mercedes-Benz, nobody took you serious. They thought you had not encompassed the culture and aspiration of the people. Honorable Speaker, the motorcycle has revolutionized transport in this country. The BODABODA sector has revolutionized transport in this country, has made transport more accessible, and has allowed people to reach various destinations he thought they would not have reached because of poor roads. Honorable Speaker, and because of the traffic jam in this country, especially Nairobi, motorcycle comes in handy in terms of speed and ability to reach a destination that others would have taken you much longer to get there because of traffic jam. Honorable Speaker, BODABODAs is one of the biggest employer of both the youth, some old people, and people who probably had no other avenue of making a living. That's a fact. Honorable Speaker, BODABODA riders are our sons and daughters, are members of this society, that whichever way we look at it, we must find a mechanism to protect their business, to protect their jobs, yet ensure there is safety. Honorable Speaker, I have had the privilege to teach at a university in Rwanda, Kigali, for almost 1 year. And Honorable Speaker, forget any other thing. What they talk about cleanliness, what about Kigali and Rwanda as a whole, is the discipline of the they were called BODABODA riders. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, I want to reiterate again, it's a sector, if well regulated, if the players are well disciplined, then Honorable Speaker, is a sector that can transform the economy of this country tremendously. I've also had the privilege of traveling outside the country, in Western Europe or in the US, and indeed I have never seen a motorcycle being a means of public transport, because their transport system is well elaborate, is well developed, and is well regulated. Honorable Speaker, the need to regulate the industry cannot be gainsaid. That is a fact. And I had thought that by the time our good friend, the bullfighter, is a bullfighter, and a bullfighter does not fear anything. By the time the bullfighter thought and drafted this law, he must have applied his mind, both politically and coming from a medical field, being an academia, he must have looked at what are the consequences. Sometimes, Honorable Speaker, it is a terrible waste of public resources to go all this way, to go through all that process, and then when it's at the tail end, nevertheless that is allowed under the standing order under the law, you come and withdraw the bill. I do not have the privilege of having read his letter seeking to withdraw and what were the reasons given for withdrawal. Regardless the reason given for withdrawal, it is a terrible waste of public resources. And when I meet him, Honorable Speaker, I will tell him as much, that we felt there's a terrible waste of resources. Being a person who stood in this house and said, for corruption to end, Kimunya must go. Failure to take this bill to the logical end is a form of corruption in a way, because it's misuse of public resources. Honorable Speaker, it is important as a community, as a country, we must open dialogue with the BODABODA riders. Honorable Speaker, in the interim, as we look at opening dialogue, as we look at ways of ensuring we put it in order, as the majority leader has said, we have a State Department of Transport. We have traffic department under the police, National Police Service. Any failure, any problems, any chaos in the BODABODA sector, the two state departments, the two state organs are squarely to blame. NTSA is there, State Department is there, Traffic Police Department is there. The law is there. The rules are there. Why they don't enforce the rules? Is it because the BODABODA riders are too powerful, are too politically important that nobody wishes, nobody dares to touch them? Honorable Speaker, when you go to most hospitals, the injury section, 90% or 99% invariably are accidents as a result of BODABODA. Something is seriously wrong somewhere, which as a society we must address. We had hoped this law would address. Honorable Speaker, it got to a point where my own constituency, Funyula, that many times, most of the robberies at night were transported, the criminals were transported by BODABODA riders. It will go to a point where to have a discussion with them and told them after a certain period at a certain time in the night, do not transport anybody, whether somebody you do not know. You can only attend to emergency, and those must be genuine emergencies from a neighbor that you very well know. As a result, Honorable Speaker, by the very way they operate, they are also extremely exposed to danger. They are exposed to criminals, they are exposed to theft, they are even exposed to death. Many, Honorable Speaker, have actually had their motorcycles snatched from them when they are escorting clients. Many of them have been killed for resisting attempt to steal their motorcycles. Some of them have been mistaken to be robbers. As they kill and lynch a robber, they also kill them. So it's in their best interest, Honorable Speaker, that the industry must be regulated. You might want to run it on lawlessness because it gives you the standing, some kind of preeminence. But eventually, that lawlessness will catch up with you. Will catch up with you. It will not be one way. So we want to beseech them that through their national association, and many times, Honorable Speaker, during campaigns, they are given very prominent roles to play. I remember even the last presidential campaign, the Kenya Kwanza Brigade paraded them all over. The hustlers, the downtrodden, tutakaa tunakaa na nyinyi kwa meza tukipanga mpango ya serikali. Now they have become a thorn in the flesh. We need, for their own safety, they need to be regulated. And again, Honorable Speaker, as they cause accidents and injure passengers, they equally get injured. Many of them end up maimed forever. So, Honorable Speaker, the Boni Halwale bill might be lost because he requested so, but we want to urge the State Department for Transport, the saga called NTSA, the National Police Service, to really find ways and means of reining and regulating this sector so that its economic influence can be felt, but security, safety must be paramount. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support.
The Honorable Kangogo Bowen. He will be followed by
Thank
the
you.
Honorable Peter Irungu Kiungi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the motion to discharge the public transport, that is the motorcycle bill, the Senate bill number 38 of 2023 from the second reading of this House. And Honorable Speaker, many of my colleagues, including the mover, the Honorable Tiji Kachwang, and the little majority who seconded, together with the Dr. Oundo, Mr. Speaker, they have said it all. They have said all about this bill. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say some few things. Number one, Honorable Speaker, where we come from the pastoralist areas where we come from, where there are no roads at all, where we have only one matatu, leaving in the morning, as early as 3 a.m. in the morning, to get to town, and that same matatu will come back maybe around afternoon, going back to the village. Mr. Speaker, the motorcycles, they have played a very important role to move those women going to markets around the place, Mr. Speaker. It has really helped. It has really helped our students, even when they are going to school, Mr. Speaker, moving them from the villages to the nearby towns where they can catch up a matatu. And I can say, Honorable Speaker, with the coming of the motorcycles, or this, the BODABODAs, Honorable Speaker, it has really changed completely the mode of transport, especially in the rural Kenya. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, the sector has also employed many young Kenyans. It's also a source of income to many Kenyans. But, Mr. Speaker, there are few, especially in the urban areas, Mr. Speaker. We have seen where the border operators, they are very unruly. Mr. Speaker, I want to say, one time I was coming from Karen, reaching around the junction of, around Kenya Science, where junction to Kawangware, Mr. Speaker, and there was one lady, I don't know, they had an accident with a border rider there. And Mr. Speaker, all of a sudden, about 20 of them, they came surrounding the lady. And you know, as the lady was still arguing, others were entering into a car, removing laptops, taking away valuables there. And he took my intervention, me together with my security team, Honorable Speaker, to help the lady. And you will find that in a normal traffic situation, when you are involved in an accident, it's normally the two drivers who can come out, and then a policeman can come in and intervene and see who is on the wrong. But in the border sector, Mr. Speaker, a small incident is like an opportunity of stealing, you know, and also maiming the person, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to support the position of the committee led by the honorable member, the Honorable Tiji Kachwang, that they are going to take up this bill, that we are not going to lose this bill, Honorable Speaker, that the committee is going to take it up and police it well, so that, Mr. Speaker, we regulate our border sector and have it as productive as we have seen in other countries, like what we are seeing in Rwanda. And we have a people who are able to follow the traffic laws, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometimes in our roads here, you are driving and you will see just a boda coming head on towards from the opposite direction, completely on the wrong. And in fact, they want you to get out of your way, to make way for them. So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow this to continue. We cannot allow this lawlessness to continue. This is a country which is governed by laws, Mr. Speaker, and I want to really say, Mr. Speaker, if the committee is going to take up this matter, and we have also the law enforcers, our traffic officers, enforce the rules very strictly. And Mr. Speaker, sometimes it's not that we lack laws in this country. We have so many traffic laws. It's only that we have people, we become a lawlessness country where people don't care to follow the law. And sometimes, some of these bodabodas, including even the matatu operators, Mr. Speaker, those who are found to have violated the law, it is many of us, some of us, the politicians, the leaders, we are the first ones always to be in the police stations. Why are you arresting our people? Why are you arresting my people? And then they create some boldness. They become emboldened, Mr. Speaker, that they cannot listen to anybody, even the policemen on the road, because they know they have some godfathers somewhere. When they are arrested, they are going to be released. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude on this, Mr. Speaker, I want to say, like the Honorable Kachwang said, if you go not only to Kenyatta National Hospital at 9th floor, if you go to MTRH in Eldoret, there is a whole almost two wards, which are purely for boda victims. If you go to every hospital whether in Nakuru, in central Kenya, you will find that many of the accident victims are victims or are accident victims from boda accidents. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude to say, the committee, you have the support of the House. We are going to support you. Polish this bill, bring it back, and we are going to pass it to regulate the boda sector and become an income generating sector like any other sector in the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Peter Irungu Kihungi is recognized.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I start to support the withdrawal of the motion of the bill. And Mr. Speaker, I want to question also still how the bill went all through the process and it came to Parliament from Senate without the mover or the Senate itself be able to realize the anomalies that they could have rectified. But Mr. Speaker, I want to support the most members what they have come. We need to regulate the operations of boda. I think we are now allowed 24 years because mostly it came after during Kibaki regime. And I want to say, I was once operated as a conductor between around 2000, between Kayole and Nairobi, before Mechuki rules. It was extremely chaotic. And when he came with the Mechuki rules, we never knew that it would work. The only instinct that is needed is somebody who have the boldness and somebody who is not careful too much, maybe on his popularity, because we must regulate the boda sector as it is. The numbers now that we are in of people who are employed by the sector, they are extremely rising. And I wish, as the committee is saying, this is an institution, these are whereby we need now to develop maybe a directorate that is concerned and every day is working on boda sector. Because now, as it is left, I realized the other day, there was a burial in my village called Watoha. And it was a burial for a boda guy who had an accident. I think there were 3. 2 died, and one of them maybe is in hospital. But during the period of one of the bodaboda rider, there came a group of bodabodas who behaved as if they were chaotic. They interfered with the period whereby when the pastor was preaching, they came and took the coffin, they went directly to the burial site and buried the person. Without even prayers, they disregarded the family. It was so embarrassing, so chaotic. And therefore, that's why I'm saying, if we allow this sector to continue learning, now it's becoming now their chaotic issue. They are calling themselves biker. You don't understand how they are organized. And these people are criminals. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I think the essence and the issue of regulating this sector is not to frustrate the operations of genuine bodabodas. Because the bodabodas in my village, they were left wondering what's happening. They felt the embarrassment up to a point whereby we had to do prayers in that church with the bodabodas in the village to repent on behalf of bodabodas. But those people, I think they have organizations, they are organizing themselves even from outside, and they are becoming extremely chaotic and disorganized. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I think Halwale had an idea, but I think he panicked. But my prayer is that the Committee for Transport should think around it and come in a way to regulate and bring order to this sector. As everybody is saying, if you go to Rwanda, you feel, you admire the operations of bodaboda. One bodaboda carrying one passenger with a helmet, very organized. At a traffic jam, when they observe lights, is extremely organized. And I think that one needs just an organized registration, and also, if possible, we have a directorate that will trickle up to the ground so that these people can be able to be organized in circles, and we can be able now to remove those criminals have intruded in this sector. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I start to support the withdrawal, but I think Senate also should up their debate also, because I don't understand how the bill came to Parliament. Then when we have it in Parliament, they are calling for withdrawal. I don't understand at which instance, maybe at what, how the process went around. But Mr. Speaker, as Parliament, we can agree, but call upon the Committee on Transport, just look on how you can bring order in this sector. And I know we can be able to bring order, and it will work for genuine bodaboda operators. And it will also assist us to be able to remove those operators or those criminals who have gotten a chance to intrude in this sector. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Joshua Mwalio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to support also the withdrawal of this bill. Although initially I was not for the idea of the withdrawal, but I was convinced by the House business that the withdrawal is the right thing, and then we bring ours from this House. And I was convinced by Honorable Kajwang, and I am convinced. Having said that, I want to say that this sector is very important because it came in the hard time, the best time. It is like the way we used to have no mobiles, and then the mobiles came as a savior for everybody, because you used to walk to someone's home, even 5 kilometers, and you find the person is not there just because we did not have the mobiles. But now the bodaboda have come to save the sector of transport, such that it has become very easy. Even wherever there are no roads, they are there helping the people in the rural areas. If you want to move faster, even in the city here, when you are late and there is a jam, you take a bodaboda and you reach where you are going as quickly as possible. So the bodaboda sector is a very important sector. Having said that, we need to regulate, because the things that are coming from the bodaboda, the issues that are being done, the bad things that are being done by the bodaboda, they defeat the good ones. Because they are the same bodabodas who are being used by the hitmen. If they want to steal from you, they snatch your mobile and ride very fast, leaving you wondering how do you run after a motorbike that is speeding. There are other things that are being done which is very good. There are some of them are so organized, such as they have their circles where they give money daily, even 100 shillings. And at the end of the day, they are able to give one person some money so that that person can buy his or her own motorcycle to be able to do the business. So there are good things that happens, but there are also very bad ones. The bad ones are the accidents. In my constituency, I cannot count how many people have been maimed. Some have become even disabled. Some have been, their legs have been cut because there are multiple fractures, because they have been knocked by bodaboda. In fact, there is one young man already now this week is in a mortuary who was knocked by a bodaboda last week. And so many things that we cannot even, they are countless. But when we will regulate it, we need also to enforce the law enforcement agencies to make sure that the bodabodas keep to their lane. We have done so many trainings even with the CDF. We have trained them not to ride without helmets. We have even trained them not to ride without insurances. We have trained them not even to carry 2 people, but to carry only 1. But even after the training, they still go back to their old habits of carrying as many people as possible. You find one is carrying 4 people, and he himself is as if he is standing because he is there just next near the end of the motorbike. So it is very important to bring a regulated sector in this house so that we go through it, make it happen, because it was meant to be a very good sector. And of course it is, but because of the very bad things, then everybody is saying the bodaboda. They also, they bull people, even us, when we are campaigning. One time, I was bulled by them, and they even prevented me from entering a town until I paid 20,000. You see, so much bullying that they bully even the member of parliament. When you are going there to look for votes, they tell you cannot enter this town. It is controlled by us. It's a cartel. You pay money for you to enter and look for votes. If it's a rally you were going, you become late because you are arguing with the people that don't want even to hear you. So it is very important for us to regulate it and let us talk to them and tell them this is a country whereby we need to be ruled by the rules that are already set, and not everything that you do that is accepted. One of the honorable members I just cited, you drive like this and there is one coming on your side. You don't even imagine there can be anybody riding towards you when you are on your line. So you might even collide and kill them and even kill the passengers. So it is very important that we do what is right in this house, and our way is to make laws that help our country. I've seen also some of the organized ones. They obey their chairmen, they obey their secretariats, and you sit down with them, you plan your rally with them, so that they bring you in a town so that everybody is alert. Somebody is coming to speak even to the people that you wanted to speak to. So they are good for organizing people and also for attracting attention so that they call for you the crowd. They are good for that. But if you don't pay them after they have done for you that, next time they might not even allow you to speak to the people that you wanted to speak. For Speaker, I want to support for this bill to be, this motion to be brought again after the committee has made good of it, and so that we can make the laws that can govern the sector, so that our country can be disciplined. I've been to China. There are small thousands and thousands of bodaboda riders, but they are so disciplined that they move as the cars move. When it is time to stop, you stop. When it's time to move, you move. And it is very organized. And that is where the motorcycles are manufactured. But here, whereby we have been able to import them, we are the ones who are not able to use our roads in the right way. So with those few remarks,